Hi, I'm Sean Lean. I'm the President of the Legislative Council in the Victorian Parliament, and I'm here to give an update of this week's parliamentary sitting. This week, the sitting week started with a condolence for the Honourable Dr. Race Matthews, who was a member for Oakleigh from 1979 till 1992 and served as the Minister for Community Services, Police and Emergency Services and the Arts. The Honourable Race Matthews also served as the federal member for Casey in the Whitlam government. The legislation that was debated and passed in this chamber during the week was the Gambling Legislation Amendment Bill 2025, which enables changes to the legislative framework for gaming machines licences and the public lottery licence. Another piece of legislation that was debated and passed was the Tax Acts Amendment Bill 2025, and this amends acts related to taxes and duties to provide for exemptions and clarifications from those taxes and duties. Another bill debated and passed was the Appropriation Bill. We usually colloquially call this the Budget Bill, and this bill is for the appropriation of certain sums of consolidated fund for ordinary annual services for the government for the financial year 25-26 and for other purposes. This basically affords the government the ability to utilise funds to do things like fund the hospitals, the schools and every other important government service. There was also a bill that was passed, was the Appropriation Parliament Bill, and this bill is appropriation for certain sums from the Consolidated Fund for the Parliament in respect for the financial year 25-26, which obviously helps run the Parliament and helps us keep the talented people around, like the people that are filming me today and my director that you can't see in the background. We have fantastic facilities here, and I'll go on to some of the reasons why we open up the place to everyone. Parliament really serves the Victorian people well, in my opinion at least. Other topics that we debated in this chamber during the week outside of legislation was housing, early childhood education, hardship funding, ambulance data and SPS. So we debate a number of different topics in this chamber. It's always busy, but it was really busy this sitting week, and some of the events was on Monday, the Big Freeze Parliament fundraiser to fight MND. The Parliament Gardens hosted an inaugural Big Freeze Parliament fundraiser. A number of MPs put their hand up to be dunked in a bucket of icy water. And they were sponsored by a number of us and other people for money to go to fight motor neuron disease. I wasn't one of them. I wasn't brave enough. Good for them for putting their hand up. This event was inspired by the MP for Pakenham, Emma Voolan, who's fighting MND herself, and we all acknowledge she's got a battle herself, but she has been so brave and generous to make sure that she can assist other people that are in the similar situation to herself. We were really lucky in Queen's Hall to have an exhibition from the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence, which had interactive displays of the current work they do, the great work they do tackling poverty and disadvantage across Victoria. And we feel so privileged to have organisations like this in our Parliament. And as I stated before, our Parliament, we're making sure as many fantastic Victorian groups can have access to this building and be able to advocate to their state representatives to help assist the great work they do. A really important event on the steps of Parliament and within the Queen's Hall. On Wednesday, the Europe Justice Commission presented their final report to the Parliament to be tabled. Commissioner Lovett from the First People's Assembly completed the walk and arrived at the steps of the Victorian Parliament. As I said, this was followed by a reception in Queen's Hall, and it's a very important step for the First Nations people for the truth telling to be heard, and that will be in the public report. We were very lucky to have a visit from members and staff from the Fiji Parliament, which was led by the Honourable Speaker Jatoko. Fiji is one of our sister parliaments, along with Nauru and Tuvalu. We have twinning operations with them. And as I said to them, as I said to all our twinning nations, Victorian Parliament learns as much from them as they do from us. So it's been a very positive program. The next sitting week, the bills that have come across in the Assembly for debate in the Legislative Council is the Correction Legislation Amendment Bill, Financial Management Legislation Amendment Bill, the Roads and Ports Legislation Amendment, Road Safety and Other Matters Bill 2025, and I'll give you an update after that sitting. There's a few weeks till the next sitting, but the Parliament never stops. In the next few weeks before the next sitting, the Parliament will host the Youth Parliament. It's an annual event. It's one of my favourite events, I've got to say, where young Victorians get to use both the Assembly and Legislative Councils to put on their own Parliament and debate things that are really important to them as young Victorians. So we're looking forward to that. And of course, there's always a lot of parliamentary committee work ongoing. That'll continue for the next few weeks. I think there's some reports due to be tabled from those committees soon in the Parliament, so they'll be working hard. And of course, there'll be many, many events. We want the Parliament to be utilised to its maximum, so there'll be many events during the next week, even though we're not sitting. But I'll give you an update of all of that next time I give a report.